What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Alex Langer, CEO of Sierra Madre Gold and Silver. Always a pleasure to have you on, Alex. How you doing?
I'm well, Aaron. Thanks a lot for having us again.
Yes, I'm excited to be chatting about the project. We've covered you for a very long time, seen everything develop. So, first off, congratulations on securing the recent $5 million loan from First Majestic for finalizing preparations at La Guaterra. What does this mean for the company going forward, and how do you plan to utilize this loan?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aaron. It's a massive milestone for the company. We had always had a little bit of a shortfall to complete all necessary steps if we decided to go into production at La Guitarra. So we'd gone out and looked at various mechanisms to secure that financing, whether that was an offtake agreement, perhaps equity, royalty. But debt was by far the most attractive to us and our current shareholders. It is non-equity dilutive, which is really, really important. Obviously, the majority of our financings have been, well above 50 cents or 65 cents with no warrant. So we're really conscious of, I guess, our capital dilution in terms of equity. So this loan allows us to achieve all those goals in terms of getting the mine, pretty much operational for if we decide to get into production. That's, lead time for underground mining equipment, final upgrades to the mill and processing facility, as well as the underground, opening up some working faces, things like that. So if we do decide to start mining, we'll be ready to go. So this loan gives us more than enough capital to be able to do that. And, I think it's a big check mark for the project itself, as well from First Majestic that they, like what we're doing at site and they continue to believe in the project. So thank you again. Yeah, we're very, very proud to announce that.
Definitely, that's very exciting. So, insider bullish bets worth 1.57 million USD indicate a strong belief in Sierra Madre's future prospects. Could you elaborate on what factors insiders might be considering when making such significant investments into the company? It's always a positive, like in my eyes, whenever I see that. So, yeah, let us know.
For sure. So yeah, that's a big number actually, especially for a junior company to see, well over 2 million Canadian dollars spent, should spend or invested into your own company. So I myself, I think I'm probably pretty close to $1 million of that. So, being management of a company, obviously, it's really important to believe in it. Put in your own equity if other investors are investing alongside of you. I think that's a really good sign. For us, again, I put in the majority of that money at 65 cents. And then, of course, I've been active in the market when I've been allowed to buy. Obviously, we had to be quite quiet when we were going through the loan facility with First Majestic. And we had also been in discussions with other groups. So it is really a strong sign whenever I invest in other companies. If a strong insider ownership and insiders are buying, I think it's really a positive sign for the company. And it's one of the reasons why we decided to do a term loan or a loan agreement as opposed to an equity dilution, because we are founders and management are well over 27% of the company still, which is another really big checkpoint in terms of investing in a junior.
Definitely. So, how does funding contribute to the company's exploration and development plans, particularly in light of current market conditions and your vision for the company's future?
Yeah, so company's futures, we always wanted to be a mid-tier silver producer, and I think La Guitarra will really allow us to work towards that goal. So the funding again allows us to complete all necessary steps for a restart. That's underground mining equipment, underground development, upgrades to the mill, staffing as well. Now have an agreement in place with the local union to increase to 250 workers, which is great. We actually have 130 at site right now, but we will be ramping that up as things progress. So this capital allows us to turn everything on if we decide to do that in the near term.
Awesome. So, with the recent progress update on La Guitarra, can you provide insights into the specific milestones achieved and how they align with Sierra Madre's broader objectives for maximizing shareholder value?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we came out with a press release, I guess, a couple months ago, and it's just a progress report in La Guitarra. So we discussed things as, power and water are all working, everything is running well. We installed, the air filtration system for the underground mine, things like that. But I really think the big point that we're trying to get across is there was no issues. So everything we expected was in amazing shape. Like usually when you come to a mine, especially one that's been shut off for a couple of years, there could be some big issues. So that press release was in essence saying that things are really positive and nothing major is wrong. So our expected capital expenditures for the possible restart are right on schedule, right in line with what we expected. And that's a lot to do with First Majestic and the care maintenance program that they had at site. But I think the biggest news was no surprises, which is always a good thing. It is mining, and what can go wrong probably will go wrong. But so far, knock on wood, things have progressed really, really well.
That's great to hear. So the gold market has shown bullishness lately, obviously with silver as well. With
Yeah.
increasing geopolitical tensions and inflation concerns driving investor interest, how does Sierra Madre capitalize on these market dynamics? What steps are being taken to ensure the company remains agile and responsive to market shifts?
For sure. And that's another great question. So when we were going through the due diligence process to acquire La Guitarra, silver dropped down to about $18 US an ounce. We were still really happy at that price.
Mhm.
Historically, this mine was producing, around 13 to 14 US dollars an ounce. And at today's prices, north of 25, 26, 27, even high of 28, 29, we're absolutely delighted.
Mhm.
But again, you're looking at commodities. That's the one thing I can't control is the price of silver. I'd like to be able to, but obviously I can't. I think, long term, I'm very, very bullish on the price. But for whatever reason, you never know what happens politically. Things, settle and there's no wars, there's no animosity and things like that. Well, the price of silver could come off a little bit, but as long as you're on the lower cost curve in terms of your production profile, you'll still be okay. And, if silver goes the other way, as I expect it will, then you can really start to see some great profits in terms of production ever comes online. So always cognizant of that. I think that's one thing we are actively looking at is the price of silver has really, kind of taken off and it should continue to do so. So the ability to get into production quicker is quite attractive to us. Again, the mine itself is fully permitted. So if we had everything ready to go, we do have the ability to turn it on at any time. And at today's prices, it would be very, very attractive in terms of the price of silver.
Definitely. So looking ahead, what are Sierra Madre's key priorities and milestones for the remainder of 2024? How do you anticipate, navigating potential challenges within the gold and silver industry to achieve these goals?
Yeah, I think once you're in production, once you're generating cash flow, a lot of those issues kind of cease to exist in terms of dilution. A lot of junior companies are always out there looking for capital. So for us, if we have capital, we're generating cash flow. That takes honestly one of the biggest risks off the table. Obviously, it's mining, and there's issues around that. But what we do want to do eventually is if mining does start, we want to generate those cash flows and go explore the project. We truly believe it's the largest undeveloped silver district in Mexico. So we want to generate cash flows and go explore and make this thing much, much larger, which obviously becomes more attractive. And again, at today's prices, I think our timing could be absolutely perfect. So milestones for the rest of the year, obviously, are going to be to staff up, complete all the necessary steps for the restart, order new equipment, things like that, and push towards hopefully a possible production decision relatively soon. And if all goes well, test mining can start and then working towards commercial production if and when that happens.
Awesome, Alex. Well, it's been a pleasure covering your story. We've seen La Guertera like a long time ago when you guys were working on it. Now here we are. The wheels are in motion. So very excited to cover it going forward, especially, the way that the gold and silver market is looking right now. It's just, I feel like the picture is very bright. So look forward to having you back on. Best of luck and congratulations once again, securing the funding and everything else that you've accomplished so far.
Thanks so much, Aaron. Look forward to keeping everyone up to date as things progress. So hopefully do an update sometime in the not too distant future. Thanks again.